In the last episode, I think we've discovered that our foxes were kinda suppressed. So, let's see how that goes, and let's play Tyto Ecology. Also, around Christmas, the developers at Immersed Games put up a new DLC. And at the end of this, we're going to look at that, because we now have the Alaskan Tundra biome, which I of course had to buy. And I haven't touched it yet, so I'm kind of excited about it. And I'm not sure I should do it now or not. I guess we'll do it later. So let's go with the rainforest first. I suppose you already know how I'm going to call the biome. Now, in the last weeks, the rainforest and all the other biomes have steadily grown out of balance, because we kept adding species and they kept eradicating stuff, and everything started to break down. So we'll have to see how that goes now. It's also the end of the year. I'm a bit late with recording this. It's actually Friday, because I couldn't record this on Wednesday. I usually record Tyto Ecology on Wednesdays, somewhere in the evening. And I couldn't do it this week because the Wednesday was the 28th, which is the day that my brother died last year. And I spent the day with my family, and we had an impromptu LAN party, which took all night. I was back home at like 4 in the morning, mostly because I missed the bus, or the bus didn't come. It was kind of weird. The bus didn't arrive, and I had to take the train, and it was a bit of a weird trip. So yeah. Okay, so we have 14 notifications. Things are low on population. For example, these tapirs here. Yeah, they are low on population. I'm not sure how I can break this achievement thing. I would like to not constantly get those, but seriously, it seems I can't. Would you stop it now? Thank you. Ah, come on now. As I said, I already refreshed or checked my game data integrity, and it was fine. I've also checked a bunch of other things. Also, why is that strangler fig totally devoid of stuff? It has leaves, it has fruits, and it doesn't show. Also, the developers are now made aware of the issue we discovered last time, when there was absolutely nothing. Or was it some weeks ago? I think it was 2 episodes ago. Also, yeah, stranglefigs are looking weird now. They should be leafy and fruity, and right now they're all gone. It looks strange, but we'll have to see about that. Also, do these with your armadillos. You don't eat that. Do these top here? No, they don't. Okay, so we'll give them a strangler fig, because why the hell not? We need more of those anyway. If I put it here, will they get to it? Yes. Great. Okay, this should also get these guys around. Although those are low in population, that's nothing I can deal with right now. We have those ocelots, which have been wiping out pretty much every other life form. I mean, look at all those low population signs here. These are low, these are low, these are low, these are low. Everything is on low population, and significantly far away from growing. Also, coati. Those are doing a bit well. Well, a bit too well, in my opinion. Apparently, the ocelot, yeah, it's too big for an ocelot, so they don't attack him. I have to put some marsh deer around here. in the hopes that we get them to survive. And I also wanted to have some more turtles, because apparently those are too low in population. I thought this was a jaguar territory and was wondering why I hadn't unlocked it yet. Okay, we need more turtles and we need more of everything. And I should probably have let this entire thing grow a bit more. I should have probably let more herbivores appear before I introduce the carnivores. And I suppose I should have let another year or so pass. Anyway, now that it's all done, I can't undo it without wiping out the biome. So let's see those mushrooms that have died. In Zone 4. Zone 4 is, well, either way, but it's probably that way. Well, that way is not much quicker. Come on, move it. Okay, Zone 4. Does any place here look like it's missing mushrooms? Well, this might. So, mushroom it is over here. You can't really have too much mushrooms. There is no, at least no downside to not leaving any detritus around. At least none I saw so far. Okay, those are growing. Those are fruiting. Great. Those have some juveniles. We'll probably have to add more of those as well. And more fish. I'm not sure why the fish have died, but they have. Also, something I probably should check more often is the thing map here. Our pineapples are not doing well, so I'm probably going to put some in Zone 2, I guess. So, pineapples. We want some of those all over the place. Also, excuse the noise outside. There may be a few times when there are explosions outside. That's nothing dangerous. It's just close to the New Year's Eve, and that means that people have already bought all sorts of fireworks, because that's a tradition in Germany. And they are using them quite liberally outside already. They're actually not supposed to. It's actually illegal until the 31st, but it's just... there's just so much going on that the police can't handle it, and it's also very hard to get people, at least as long as they're not blowing off their hands, which also something that does happen, because many people also get the Polish explosives, and those are actually banned in Germany because they are pretty dangerous. Like, some of them are not really built in a safe way. There's like way too much I think black powder in there, or other explosive substances, and they're just way bigger than it would be safe. And some also have very short fuse, which is also not safe. And there have been quite a few incidents where people literally blew their hands off with those, and that's why they're outlawed here. And if you're caught carrying those around, you get in trouble, especially if you try to get them across the border. Although there's not much of a border nowadays since the European Union, but yeah, it's still not legal to get those into Germany. Also, something I wanted to say here was the since it's currently now the Christmas Aftermath episode, I guess. The first time I record since Christmas, so I have to do it now. The Santa Claus thing went really well, and I had the cutest moment ever when one family they had, like, I think 3 daughters of varying ages, and the smallest one, who I think was 4 years old, oh, come on, had sent a letter to Santa, because apparently I think what they did usually was they would just put the sack with the presents in front of the door and say, yeah, Santa dropped it off. And this year the girls sent a letter to Santa asking him to drop by in person to yep, and they mentioned like the daughter had sent a wish list in. I was like, well, fine. Do you still have it? If so, you could just put it like onto the sack, and then I can say I've got it. So they did, and that expression on that little girl's face when I pulled this letter out of my pocket and said, "Yeah, look, I got your letter." It was glorious. Like, you could literally see that Christmas started at this moment for this kid, and it was great. It was like, as I said, it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I've seen in a long time. And with that being said, we'll go back to Ecology. We have too many frogs here. At least too many for a moth population to handle, because they apparently don't eat anything else. Although it's clearly within their territory. So what we'll do here is we'll put in some honeybees just to keep things pollinated. And then we'll have to look at all the other things here. Okay, a group of deer mice has died in zone... What are you doing there? Stop that. A group of deer mice has died in zone 3. That was probably over here somewhere. I presume near those starving king snakes. So we need more deer mice, and also we had some rattlesnakes, which I believe were killed. Okay, could we close that? Thank you. Yeah, I was quite sure I had some rattlesnakes here, which were doing really, really well. Or garter snakes, and they were wiped out. As were the burrowing owls and... Oh wait, that's... No, we were here. So, deer mice, rattlesnakes have died in zone 3. I suppose they just ran out of prey animals. So we need more... We need more deer mice. And I hate to place those because they are also acting as insectivores. So they'll eat a lot of insects, even though they're supposed to be able, or they should eat plants, and that kind of sucks because it means you can get in trouble easily. However, I think 3 groups of those should get us around. Well, not place frogs. Stop that. And we need more burrowing owls, because those here have been wiped out by something. I have no idea what wiped them out. Oh, probably the... what are those? Looks like a lynx. It's a bobcat. I'm not sure why those would be starving, though. Unless they are, of course, medium-sized. Which they seem to be. Oh, could we always place a lynx here? I don't think we had that before. Okay, where's the bobcat? It is a medium predator, so it needs rabbits, I believe. No, we don't want to place any of that. And those rabbits are actually pretty well decimated. So we'll have to place maybe another population of those. Well, there they were. So I'll just place a lot of jackrabbits and hope that many of them will make it. Those rattlesnakes are in trouble, which is kind of hard to understand because they could always go for deer mice. And I hope they do repopulate, because I like the rattlesnake to be around. And once this population grows out of hand, we'll have to add king snakes and hope they go for rattlesnakes. Okay, burrowing owls, we have them reintroduced to the biome now. And a group of moths have died in zone 1. I think we fixed all the rest, so let's get those moths back on track. I think they died over here. At least this place looks like it needs more moths, so let's put them in there. One over here and one over here. Wow, that was quick. What is badgers? Like wiping them out? I suppose they were, because there's nothing else here. So we have a bit of a milkweed problem here. If I zoom down on it, you can see it. This is all milkweed, and there is currently no way to fix it, although the developers are aware of the problem, and I think they're currently trying to come up with fixes. So yeah, I'm hoping that I don't have to abandon this biome because of the milkweed, which, as you can see, has left no room for other plants, except mushrooms, which we placed in there. But yeah, right now no other plants can actually live here. And if we check the map, what was the thing? Not milk veg, that's a different thing. Common milkweed. There. As you can see, it's spreading quite horribly. And yeah, I'm hoping they die. I am hoping that those plants will eventually die off, or that we get some way to control them. Anyway, I think that's it for this bio, because we have a lot of stuff to go through here, and I want to show you the Tundra bio in this very episode. I mean, I could just split the episode, but I don't want to. Also, a bit of a bad timing, because I kind of wanted to fade out to Ecology over time. Like within the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And now that we got a new biome, I feel I have to fool around with that. At least a bit. So, we might see more episodes. Although I still know what I'll do after Tyto Ecology, we're going back into the city building business. And I don't know what I'll play after that. I'm still not in recording shape, really. I just realized that, but I want to get this episode done because I need to start uploading it, and it's all messy. I'm all over the place, which is not the most healthy. Well, it's not bad for my health, but it's not good for recording. So focus, focus, focus. Yeah. We are on a loading screen, which is needless. Also, the burrowing owl is one of the smallest owl species in the world. I wasn't aware that there were burrowing owls, to be honest. So I'll probably have to look into the biodex for that at some point. What is the first bird species in the game? Everybody was hoping that more would come, but I suppose birds are a bit difficult to make for this game, because they would be pretty free roaming, and you would have a humongous territory. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at that. 37 notifications. Also, those coral snakes here apparently have managed to wipe out whatever I put them there to wipe out. So they need something to eat. And quick. So deer mice. And deer mice. And more deer mice. Okay, we have king snakes, which were pretty fine because they were dining on coral snakes. We have coral snakes, which are in trouble because they were eaten a lot and probably didn't have anything to eat themselves. So that's when a problem just goes up the food chain. Like the bottom part breaks away, and then quite fast the rest will die as well. Okay. Why are those low on population? Are they eaten by... Oh yeah, they're eaten by the Gila monster. Which is doing fine. We'll place some more kangaroo rats over here. Okay, what are those? Honey mesquites, and they are not yet pollinated. The desert willow is fruiting. It is eaten by the deer mice, hopefully. I suppose it is. I need all those kangaroo rats. Look at them, they're fleeing from the Gila monsters. Okay, we have king snakes, we need more other things. I also need to go to those notifications. So, deer mice have died in zone 5, I suppose it was over here. A group of pronghorn antelopes has died. Burrowing owls have died. That was probably over here. I'm not sure where to put another batch of those. We'll also have to put in some more deer mice over here. And if I had waited much longer than that, we would have lost all those populations. I'll give them a lot of deer mice now because I know those are prolific as hell. And we need a lot of them. I think the biome can handle the short-time deer mice overload. Come on, I will place them over here then. But yeah, we need those. We need a bit of basic biomass. Kind of just above plant life biomass. Also, the fish have been wiped out. That happens from now and then when things just have nothing else to eat. They will go for fish. Okay, let's put some desert kangaroo rats and some more deer mice all over the place. I think you have to place all of those manually in at least the first time you do it. Or the first populations. It's a mistake I don't intend to repeat for the... Okay, so those bobcats are low in population. Which is probably because they were eaten by something bigger. However, since this is low now, I'll just put another group here. And I guess that'll do. I don't think it's starved. Okay, so those are slowly recovering, at least they're looking better. The hunger has slightly recovered. It is back up now. Those might be in trouble. We might lose those. We may definitely lose those. Those seem to be bouncing back. Okay, let's go down those notifications. We need burrowing owls. We also need energy. And since we have a crapload of coins, I'm just going to spend it now. Not all of it, mind you, because that's probably beyond my capabilities. But we're going to spend a lot of coinage now, and we're going to add some more burrowing owls. There we go. Right over there. That'll do. Okay, yeah, we know all that, we know that, we know that. Millipedes have died in Zone 5. Zone 5 is this, and the millipedes have probably died over here. Not a problem, we'll just add more of them. If at first you don't succeed, add more. It's probably not the wisest approach to anything, but it works. At least if you have a load of Tyto coins. Or whatever other currency you may be using. If you have enough of it, you can usually get along well. And lots of those have died, lots of those have died. Now I'm quite sure they will be low in population for a while, because they will be instantly... I'm quite sure some of them will be instantly eaten. No population, okay. So how are those desert tortoises doing? I think we had another group over there which apparently has died. Those are doing okay. At least I'm hoping they will. We'll just throw another batch just to be on the safe side. Also, how is... I don't know. I wish I had like a mode that would show me which plants are fruiting. Like a small symbol like that would be nice to toggle sometimes. So I could see, okay, those are fruiting, those are currently not, those will be ready in so many, all those are flowering and will be fruiting soon. It just helps to know that, because then I knew, or I would better be able to tell which plants I need to place now and which I don't. Or which plants I should probably put there and which I don't. Which kinds of food are available, basically. Okay. So yeah, I'm hoping that you are aware that this will probably be a longer episode, because we will be looking at a new biome, and I'm currently planning to completely deck it out, because we have about 4,000 coins, so there's really no need for anything else. Also, another problem that has been brought up in the last at least 2 episodes is the pika in the Himalayan biome, and that as well has been brought up to Immersed Games. I actually made a Steam forum post if you want to look it up, and they're aware of it, and they might either, I'm not sure if they said they would add a new creature. I mean, that would be fun. I'm quite sure the pika population can handle that. But, yeah. Also the pomegranate problem, which is another thing there, because the pomegranate can't be killed anymore. And it's just growing. It is just growing. Ridiculously, in fact. So I've brought this up, and I'm not sure if there are other species like that, but I think those were the ones that I noticed most. Certainly. Also the kapok tree. That's actually kind of interesting. They mentioned that the kapok tree was originally not supposed to be eaten at all. I mean, it's still not being eaten at all, but it was supposed to be there for shade, which was a mechanism that didn't make it to the final game, sadly. But that would, for example, allow herbivores to get away from predators and to hide from them better. So yeah, right now, since that mechanism never made it into the game, this is just essentially a dead mechanic. Okay, pikas are starving. At least we're only at 14 notifications. Yeah, they have removed pretty much everything from their surroundings. Many of those red foxes are in trouble. We are getting more achievements. Hooray. That's it? Good. Okay, I'm not sure why those would be starving. They have those lovely plants. Oh, they don't. Okay. Which plants are currently growing? I'm not going to put down more pomegranates, though. If I can help that, I'm not going to put those down. Okay, those would be an option. I'm looking for something that is currently fruiting. Not that, not that. Those never fruit. It's also another species that probably never makes it, or that needs something to fix it. Okay, the birch, pomegranate. There's got to be something in bloom right now, in fruit right now. Those are alive, okay. Just making sure. I don't want my elephants to die just yet. Okay, those are... They have juveniles. And the earthworms are... why does it say herbivores eat these? Oh, probably because, yeah, I think we're having 2 different things on top of that. If I only select that. Okay, no, it seems to be the case for the earthworm itself. If I click, yeah, it's the earthworm. Why would herbivores eat these? I mean, I suppose they're tasty, but still. Shouldn't it be insectivores eat these? Oh well. Back to the topic here. We need to get something for those pikas. Because as much as I hate having all of them around, I don't want them to die just yet. Okay, wood apple would be flowering or would be fruiting in about 4 weeks. So if we can get them through that, we should be fine. So what I'll do now is I'll put in a goji, which may or may not be fruiting right now. It is not. And we'll put in the wood apple. And that may in fact be all we need. I mean, if these guys make it until the wood apple is actually fruiting, we should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. Also, the game just froze on me for some reason. Okay, it seems to be okay now. Also, yeah, deodar cedar. I'll have to add that to the list. Again, I suppose those were originally intended to be some sort of different, maybe shade or whatever, and they just never were needed. So, yeah. Right, other notifications. We just lost a group of musk deer in Zone 2. So let's put another group of musk deer in there. Musk deer. Muntjac, musk deer. Right over there. Okay, group of pecans, group of mushrooms, group of chevrotines. We have more of those, so I'm not too concerned. Muntjac, marmots. How many marmots do we have? We have a healthy population here, so that's fine. As long as one healthy population remains, I'm actually not too worried about them, because I'm hoping they will eventually spread. We have those bears here, which are doing fine. And we have those muntjacs, which are also doing very, very well. I may, in fact, at some point need to add more things here, but right now this seems fine. And I'm not going to tinker with it too much more, so I'll just leave it and go into the tundra now. Well, once we've got everything saved and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm a bit tired. The last days were stressful. And especially during Christmas, I don't get to sleep in very long, because I'm always supposed to be somewhere at lunchtime, usually before. And it's kind of difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but it is taxing. We'll switch the tutorial off, because I really don't feel like doing that again. So the Alaskan Tundra is a harsh biome with short summers and long, freezing winters. Most plants grow very low to the ground to withstand high winds, and many animals have white coats to blend in with snow during the wintertime. Despite its unforgiving climate, Alaska is still home to a wide variety of fauna and flora. Or flora and fauna, rather. So to create that, and of course this will be the snow forest. Okay. Enter. There we go. We have no life in here, which kind of sucks. We have a... Is that a pond? Yes. So this looks a bit different from the other biomes, which is great to see. Yeah, look at that. We have some small ponds. I'm not sure if that is all like ice sheet. I don't think it would be. And because we are currently drowning in coins, I'm just unlocking all the zones, which should probably get us more energy very soon. No? Well, don't then. Okay, we have... Oh, wow. We have different species here, except the mushrooms, which are... They're surprisingly hardy species in general. Like, mushrooms are... They have conquered all the world. I mean, technically, lichen is a mushroom as well. It's a symbiosis between a mushroom and a... I think an algae. So the mushroom basically supplies the water, and the algae does the photosynthesis and provide energy for the entire construct. And I think it's kind of fascinating, because those can technically become immortal. because they really don't have anything else to do. And I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they age or anything. And I think scientists have actually found lichen that has been thousands of years old. And it's one of those success models of nature, because there's just nothing that not much that can go wrong with those. They can live essentially off stones or what have you, and I think it's pretty amazing. And I know that because those were like the prime example for symbiosis back in my school time. At least they were told to us as the prime example for symbiosis in nature. Okay, I'm not sure if that's like the points or also it has. Also, why does that not remove any detritus? I'm gonna unlock that and just check the biodex for a moment. Like, what are those good for? It is a decomposer. Yeah, it's kind of a mushroom. Okay, it's lichen. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently the pronunciation is different in other countries. Okay, let's put some more of those in here. They really don't do much in terms of decomposing. I mean, look at that. It's doing bugger all. Also, I'm not sure if moss would be a decomposer. Let's put some of that near near this rock, because I think that's what you'd put near a rock. Although I suppose this rock here would naturally harbor some of it. Some of the lichen. And now that I mention it, I'm actually not sure how those reproduce. Because obviously I think the algae and the mushroom would... I mean, mushroom do reproduce via spores, I know that. But how would the algae do it? I'm not entirely sure how that works. I'll have to look that up later on. And we'll unlock the caribou moss as well, because it seems like it's a very good food source. Not exactly tasty or maybe very healthy, but we'll have some of it. It's very, very white. So it does blend in the snow. And it also is a lichen. I'm just calling them lichen now. And yeah, we're going to place a lot of that stuff all over the place. I wish it was actually decomposing more, because right now it's doing bugger all. But I want to have it around anyway. So we actually have to cover everything with mushrooms. I think there isn't a complete cover with the mushrooms here. So we might end up with some detritus. I'll just try to fill that up with at least a bit of the other decomposers. Okay, that's definitely... it's not a gap. I thought there was a gap there, but it just didn't pop in. Do I have a mushroom over there? I don't. Let's put some mushrooms in here. Okay, and we need some of those moss and stuff. Okay, come on. Controls are being a bit wonky now. I don't know why. So we placed a ton of that stuff, and now let's look at the plants. We have some pretty interesting plants. Wow. A bearberry. That's interesting. I know some spruce. That would actually have been a lovely Christmas episode, but I didn't buy the DLC before Christmas, sadly. So now we'll have to live with that. Okay, let's move that. I can pull it that way. Okay. So we'll place in some of those. I can't see them now. To go really low. Okay, so that is the plant of the hour. Yeah, it's very, very, very humble, I suppose. Very humble. Okay, let's put more of those. not at the fish pond thing. Okay. We need more energy again. And as I said, I'm trying to speed this up as much as possible. So we'll put some of those here. I guess 2 per zone should be okay for now. Okay, we unlocked an achievement. And 2 in zone 5. We need pollinators first. What are the pollinators here? The Arctic bumblebee. That's cool, we can get bumblebees. I want some bumblebees. Can we get other pollinators as well? Caribous, wolverines... We can only get bumblebees, so we'll have to cover the ground in bumblebees. Or live with having no pollinators at all. So bumblebees it is. I wish there were more than those, but I can't do anything here. And since there aren't any other pollinators, I'll have to go with the bumblebee. Which, by the way, I think works similar to the wasps in terms of wintering. I think only the queens get through the winter. The rest of the colony dies in autumn. Although I'd have to look that up again, so don't take this for granted. Okay, go away, fish thing. And I wish they had a bit more of an area of effect here, because this place is just like the Himalayan biome. It looks a bit larger than the other things. The standard biomes were all pretty confined, I think. At least they felt very confined. Because you could essentially cover the entire zone with 2 different pollinators, or 2 of the same really. Just 2 areas and it would be done. And that doesn't seem to cut it here. I just realized I should probably put in pollinators before I put in more plants. Also, I like the variety because it means I don't have to place the same thing over and over again. And I always feel a bit weird if I have only one pollinator and it overlaps with itself in several occasions. However, since we can't really do anything about it, it'll have to do for now. I mean, I could probably sort them around those water holes, but screw it. Okay, there's my phone. And in this case, I didn't even bother setting up a countdown because I never managed to keep it short with this game, so this is going to be a humongous episode. Okay, now that this is sorted out, I think we've gone all the way around, so we can now have plants. Zone 1 gets 2 of those. Let's actually unlock everything. Let's unlock all the plants. I'll eventually read up the biodex for those as well. It's also interesting to see that none of those seem to be fruiting, except the bearberry and the white spruce to a very, very small extent. By the way, we'll only place one of those in each zone, because I believe those will do fine on their own. So 1 and 2. And some cotton grass, which you really can't see. So it's very well camouflaged. So that stuff. And some here. That. Maybe here. Or there, I don't care. Some tufted saxifrage. I don't know why, but I feel like I should know this plant. I really don't. I really don't. Okay, and I also really, I think I mentioned already, but I really like how they looked up the interesting bits about every plant. I think that deserves a certain degree of, I don't know, a certain degree of what's the word now, of recognition. Because I feel that the guys at Immersed Games really tried very, very hard to make a good game, and I think they succeeded. Okay. This, that. At least we're getting rid of all those coins that way. I mean, we burned through, I think, about 1,000 already. We'll go down to 1 per zone now because I don't feel like placing that much. Yeah, I would say I can't really go with my usual strategy of I'm gonna wait for things to fruit, because there are only 2 things that will in fact fruit here. Okay, zone 3 will get the obligatory, wait, we'll just start here. 1 here. Let's place some more grass. And so that, I didn't want to place it into the pond. Look at that, we're out of energy again. So 3 more of that. I wish you could get more than 300 energy. Then again, that would probably allow you to tinker with the biome too much. Just place it already. 4 of those. And since there are 2 sexy froggies, whatever, I'm going to place 1 of each. And not 2 of each, because it would feel like there would be a bit too much of those. Also, no toxic species, which is kind of refreshing. Then again, I believe I've read that toxic species prefer to live in the hotter areas, because producing a toxin requires a lot of energy. So if you have to spend a fair bit of your energy already just trying to not freeze to death, you would be very unlikely to actually produce toxins as an animal, just because it is so very, very taxing that you'd be better off not doing it, because you might just die or starve yourself to death if you did that. Also, this I think this pond has a very, very weird hit detection. If I click here, it still lets me select the pond, so this might need to be fixed. Although it might just be an error on my side here. That's okay though. Okay, and 1 more zone to go. That would be zone 5. Over there should be the plants already. Okay. So we'll do this and another. I was about to say another of those, but no. I think I just wasted a bit of money. Then again, we have so many bloody coins that I really don't care. It is not like we have to budget it carefully. I can just go nuts with it. So, you know what I'm gonna call this episode? Okay, I'll place those, and we'll put 1 of those in here. And the other one in here. Some berries over there. How long until they actually start doing things? I don't know. And the white spruce. How about over here? Okay. That seems to work fine. And I believe that in some of those areas you'd actually have, on those very cold areas, you'd actually go for other ways of pollination. Like, I believe the spruce tree is actually one of those, most of those needle trees are wind pollinated. I might be wrong there, but I believe that's the case. And that's why I have so much, I think pine trees, for example, are very, very, they produce a lot of pollen, which is bad for people with allergies, but acceptable for everybody else. We'll set this to 1 year. We'll apply that, and I think that's it for this episode. Also, what the hell is going on with WhatsApp here all the time? Apparently, Mom is writing me. Okay. apparently asked about my plans for the New Year's Eve, which I currently don't have any. I think the gardening group I'm having my bees in decided to do, or they considered making a New Year's party in the garden, which I might be tempted to attend to, because I didn't join the Christmas party and I kind of feel guilty about that. And yeah, if that plan arises, I will do that. If it doesn't, well, it's okay. Last year I didn't do anything around New Year's Eve because my brother had died 3 days before that, and I just wasn't feeling like going out at all. I just want to be left alone. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all for this episode. It's probably going to be ridiculously long already. I have no idea how long it's going to be, because I didn't check the time when I started, but I think we're at the usual around 45 minutes. And it's probably going to get longer from here because we have this additional biome. Although I suppose the next episode I'll just check in here and let it grow before we'll add all the animals. And look at that, we have the ground squirrel, we have the Arctic fox, which is nice, the Arctic hare, of course, the ermine, which reminds me that I think ferrets are amazing. And we got lemmings, hooray! Lynx and Arctic wolves. We got caribous as well, which can eat toxic life forms. Do we even have any of those? I mean, none of those seem toxic. Oh, the caribou moss is toxic. Well, that makes sense. Okay. That is kind of weird. But I'm gonna roll with that. So we need some caribous to control the caribou moss, which I'm not sure does spread, so we might just not really need them at all to do it. I was just confused because I didn't notice this was toxic, and I was like, okay, why do we have a thing that can eat toxic life forms? We have some tough life forms. I'm not sure if Wolverine would eat the Arctic wolf. And I wish those were more ordered by size. So you'd have the large ones at the end, and the medium ones in the middle, and the small ones at the start. Not this way around. I'm not sure what system they're sorted by. I suppose it's just the coin price. But yeah, I would like to see that. Or maybe the herbivores at the start and the rest later. Anyway, that's it for this episode. We've spent a lot of coins. We've created a new biome, which I currently can't zoom out further, or can't go at least higher. And I wish you could just sit on that. Can you? No, you can't. Like, this could be a bit smaller, or maybe a bit more beveled, I think. And you could just sit on there and look over your entire biome. I think that would be a very, very fun idea. But sadly you can't right now. Although I think this has a certain appeal architecturally, not archaeologically. Anyway, we're done for this episode. We're still floating in the middle of the sea. And I'm really considering to get into Tyto online. What is currently scaring me off a bit is the monthly subscription, which is a model that they went for. I'm not sure why they would do that. Although I'm sure why they would do it, because it's guaranteed proceeds, as opposed to Ecology, where you basically spend the one-time entry fee and then you have everything. So it's more of an I would suppose it makes sense if you know you have a small but dedicated fan base to get as much out of those as you can, as opposed to, say, things with a mass appeal, where you could say, okay, if everybody only pays, I don't know, what, for example, Skyrim. If everybody only pays $5 during the sale for that, and 1 million people buy it, I'm not sure how many people bought Skyrim, but anyway, that's still $5 million. might be more or less depending on which currency you convert it to, but still, it is a lot of money. And yeah, still considering it. I'll have to see how I'll have time as well, because if I pay for I think the initial payment on Steam gets you like 3 months or so, and if I pay that, I want to have those. I want to get something out of those 3 months. Okay, that's just something that I personally feel, and I want to do this when I actually have time to play the game, or look into it and let's play it as much as I deem appropriate. And now for the third or fourth time, I'm going to call off the episode, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!